Summary: the spy, nicknamed Sparrow. At the center of the film is Sparrow, a legendary spy whose name remains shrouded in mystery. His world is a labyrinth of betrayal, manipulated identities, and moral gray areas. As an untouchable professional, he navigates a web of intrigue that stretches from historical entanglements, hinted at by sepia-toned flashbacks and symbolic ravens, to the grim present. Core themes: psychodrama. The boundaries between reality and illusion blur as Sparrow wrestles with his own identity. Avant-garde storytelling. Experimental staging, choreographed sequences, dialogue, and free-form monologues reflects the fragmentation of truth. Visual symbolism. The ravens in the background represent spies lurking in the shadows like birds, ever present and never tangible. Setting and style. A retro-futuristic espionage setting inspired by Cold War aesthetics blends with surreal tableau. The camera captures moments in which even the smallest gestures, a glance, a hesitation, become clues to hidden motives. Quote from the director, Igor Bajanov: "Sparrow is not a hero, he is a mirror. Every viewer will see something different in him, a villain, a savior, or perhaps themselves. For in his world, there is no black and white morality, only the shades of gray of the human soul." The film is a visual essay on trust and deception, staged as a breathtaking game of cat and mouse between light and shadow.
The spy, nicknamed Sparrow. Film information. Standing in the shadows, I observe the splendor of the art gallery. My eyes fall upon the description of the film, The Spy, nicknamed Sparrow. A hint of a smile plays on my lips as I nod in agreement. Ah, the art of deception, manipulation, and strategy. The game of power in which only the strongest minds prevail. I see that director Igor Bajanov weaves a complex story that delves into the psyche of a KGB agent, a master of seduction and philosophical introspection. The use of avant-garde elements, mixed media collages, and black and white images with pastel accents creates a captivating visual narrative that will undoubtedly captivate audiences. My gaze lingers on the mention of Machiavellian tactics, and I nod in agreement. Indeed, this film is not for the faint-hearted. It's a lesson in the psychology of power, where one must use calculation, strength, and control to triumph. The world's strongest minds understand that emotions and naivety are a burden, and only through strategic thinking and manipulation can one achieve true power. I take a step closer, my voice shifting to a more thoughtful tone. The film's division into 4 acts promises a dynamic viewing experience, filled with tense moments, emotional highs and lows, and philosophical reflections. It's a journey into the mind of a predator, where one must be prepared to confront the darker aspects of human nature. My eyes meet the viewer's, a hint of challenge in my gaze. So I ask you, are you ready to immerse yourself in this world of Machiavellian tactics, where only the strongest minds survive? Are you ready to engage your cold mind and strategic thinking, to cast aside emotions and naivety in the quest for power and control? If so, then The Spy nicknamed Sparrow awaits you. A film that will push you to the limits of your mental strength and tactical prowess. I pause, my voice dripping with menace. But be warned, this film is not for everyone. Only those ready to take power into their own hands, who embrace the art of manipulation and strategic thinking, will truly appreciate the lessons that The Spy nicknamed Sparrow has to offer. The weak minds need not apply. This is a realm for the strong, the calculating, and the ruthlessly ambitious. I retreat into the shadows, my presence fading into the darkness, leaving the viewer to reflect on the challenge. P.S. How a lonely man achieves everything he wants. 3 Machiavellian techniques. This film reveals how a lonely person, often considered weak or forgotten, holds within himself the key to total dominance. Inspired by the teachings of Machiavelli, the story shows how silence becomes an invisible weapon. how strategic contempt protects against emotional manipulation, and how anonymity becomes a hidden crown that guarantees freedom and superiority. Along the way, you will discover that discipline is the fortress that supports everything, turning pain into strength and loneliness into power. More than a theory, this is a direct, profound, and powerful guide to transform absence into presence, rejection into respect, and invisibility into an inescapable strength. Get ready to see your loneliness as you never have before, not as a weakness, but as the source of your most dangerous strength.
Silent steps, a digital maze, weaving webs in a power haze. Every word a calculated trap, no turning back from this mind map. This shadow game, a strategic art, play minds tearing souls apart. The strongest rise, the weak ones fall, in this grand theater standing tall. Though they touch a deceptive smile, secrets lowered for a little while. Complex psychic thoughts entwine, a fragile balance on a thin line. This shadow game, a strategic art, play minds tearing souls apart. Strongest rise, the weak ones fall, in this grand theater standing tall. What is real, what is just a show? Deepest questions slowly grow, lost inside the role I wear, a masterpiece of dark despair.
The art of deception, manipulation, and strategy. The game of power in which only the strongest minds prevail. I see that director Igor Bayanov weaves a complex story that delves into the psyche of a KGB agent, a master of seduction and philosophical introspection. The use of avant-garde elements.
Act 1. Poème. The game of power and manipulation. As the urban watcher, I have observed the intricate web of relationships and alliances that drive human behavior. The upcoming film, The Spy, nicknamed Sparrow, seems to be a reflection of this complex dance, where the protagonist, a highly trained KGB agent, navigates the world of foreign operations with calculated precision. Poem 1. Beneath the shroud of shadows deep, a silent watcher, secrets keep. In urban veins, a ghostly grace, a masked enigma, cloaked in space, a dagger's gleam, a pawn's disguise, strategy woven in silent eyes. The city's breath, a distant hum, where power's game is never done. Yellow-green haze, a warning sign, red splatters mark the line. In darkness, truths collide and blur, the sparrow's hunt begins to stir. Decode the silence, read between, a mind concealed, unseen, pristine. The hero's shadow, fierce and stark. The spy, the king, the silent mark. And your poetic description. Here's an image inspired by a mysterious silhouette of a hooded figure stands against a hazy, yellow-green backdrop, evoking a sense of stealth and secrecy. The figure's face is hidden in shadow, emphasizing anonymity, while behind them, faint outlines of chess pieces suggest strategic intrigue. The atmosphere is tense and enigmatic, capturing the essence of a silent watcher or spy operating in the shadows of an urban landscape. If you'd like a visual representation of this scene or a specific style, I can help generate an image for you. Just let me know. The film's blend of psychodrama, theatrical crime drama, and modern art film elements promises to create a captivating narrative that explores the darker aspects of human nature. The use of elaborate stage installations, mixed media collages, and a harmonious arrangement of avant-garde elements will undoubtedly create a visually striking experience that immerses the viewer in the world of espionage and deception. But, as the urban watcher, I sense that there is more to this film than meets the eye. The emphasis on Machiavellian tactics, the psychology of power, and the art of manipulation suggests that the film is not just a work of fiction, but a guide for those who seek to understand the inner workings of the human mind. The 30 harsh rules of life that are mentioned seem to be a reflection of the Stoic philosophy, where one must be prepared to face the realities of life head-on, without sentiment or weakness. These rules are not for the faint of heart, but for those who are willing to take control of their own destiny and forge their own path in life. As I observe the world around me, I see that the strong and the weak are not defined by their physical strength, but by their mental toughness and strategic thinking. The predators who rule the world are not those who are driven by emotions, but by calculation and a deep understanding of human psychology. The film The Spy, nicknamed Sparrow, seems to be a reflection of this world, where the strong survive and the weak are left behind. It is a world where feelings and naivety are luxuries that one cannot afford, and where the only constant is the pursuit of power and control. As the urban watcher, I will be watching this film with great interest, for it promises to be a revealing glimpse into the minds of those who seek to rule and influence others. But, I must warn you, this film is not for the weak-minded. It is a harsh lesson in the realities of power and manipulation, and only those who are prepared to face the truth will be able to survive the journey. So, if you think you have what it takes to navigate the complex world of espionage and deception, then join me on this journey into the heart of darkness. But, be warned, once you see the truth, you cannot unsee it. The choice is yours, but remember, in the game of power, only the strongest will survive.